Welcome into Checkpoint XP, your home for esports and gaming. Joining us now is Tom Ogre2 Ryan, the GM of the Florida Mutineers for the Call of Duty League. They just announced their roster, the last of the teams to do so. So the full Call of Duty League lineup is now complete. So Tom, you're the general manager of the Mutineers, one of the teams of the Call of Duty League. Season 1 is set to begin in January. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like getting everything ready for the inaugural season?
Oh boy, there's been a lot going on. Obviously, right when I came on board here with Misfits Gaming Group to be the GM for the Mutineers, I jumped right into roster building. So there was the whole, free agency period. Had to talk to most of the players that were in the league last year. Obviously not the franchise league, the CWL.
Mm-hmm.
And, recruiter roster, that went on for about a month. Now we're in our temporary offices, and I've, single-handedly been building out their practice area, PCs and PlayStations all set up for them. And the guys are now, as of last week, they've been coming in 5 days a week to practice from the offices. Things are finally starting to roll here, but we're excited to start the grind and get ready for that season opener.
Yeah, in the Call of Duty League, like the Overwatch League, it's sort of a sister league, is also going to be experimenting with a home and away format. What do you think, the effects of the home and away travel will have on Call of Duty League and on esports as a whole? Are you guys excited for it?
There's definitely some things about it I'm excited for. I'm also a little bit, skeptical of how well these guys will transition into that. Just from a player standpoint, they're all used to, going out of town for a full tournament, competing in Friday through Sunday, bunch of matches, grinding out a whole tournament in a weekend. And now they're going to be traveling a lot more in over a 6-month period and just doing, a couple matches each time. So it'll be definitely be different for them and require some adjustment. But as far as the home and away format goes with an audience, I think it could be really cool. I'm excited to see how our home series events turn out here in Florida, and hopefully we get some pretty good turnout. But it's going to be a really cool way to portray the matches.
Now, you have an esports background in Halo, both as a competitor and as a leader. What was it like being a pro in the Halo scene, and how would you say that's prepared you to lead a Call of Duty roster?
Oh man, I have a lengthy reply to that. I'll try to summarize that for you. So I obviously competed in Halo for many years, going all the way back to 2003. So it was a lot different back then, but definitely in my later years of competing, the esports scene was kind of blossoming into what it is now. And also I was getting to the point in my career where I was very much a leader on my team and the oldest player on the team. So I think I won my last tournament when I was 28. And I had two 19-year-old, an 18 and a 19-year-old on my team at the time. So I had already begun the parenting aspect of the team. I don't really know the best way to describe that, but there's a lot that goes into that. And I think I moved into, coaching after that, and then player management roles with Reciprocity was an organization I was with before Mutineers here. And, you have to speak their language, and you have to understand where they're coming from, which I'm able to do. And I think that's definitely prepared me a lot for, leading the team and giving them good guidance, both outside the game and in the game. I've had the guys ask me just last week, I was sitting in on some of their scrims, and I don't obviously compete in Call of Duty. I have in the past for short periods of time, but I haven't competed as much in Call of Duty as I did for Halo. But he pulled me aside. It was Havoc, and he said, you have so much experience. If you see anything that we're doing wrong in practice, just as a team and how we communicate about stuff and talk about, strategies and things like that, and hash out, situations with each other, feel free to step in and give us some guidance. So they've even asked me for that, and I feel like I've already started to do that. So I think I fit the role really well just for multiple reasons like that.
You're listening to Checkpoint XP Esports and Gaming Radio. We're sitting down with Tom Ryan, also known as Ogre2, the GM of the Florida Mutineers in the Call of Duty League.
So now that the whole roster has been, announced and together a little bit, what would you say is the greatest strength of the team you guys have assembled?
I'm really excited for this team. I feel like a lot of other people have picked up on the fact that it's not, it's not a superstar roster, so to speak. If you're talking in regards to like the Simps and the Abizis of the world from last year, but it's a very strong roster and it's got a lot of potential. The guys are young, so I think our youth and our drive and potential is going to be a driving force for us to be a top team this year. I think all of these guys are very hungry, and I don't want to say underrated, but something along those lines in how the general public views this team.
So what is the philosophy of the Mutineers? Do you guys have a team philosophy?
Yeah, we do. So we actually came up with a Mutineers code. It's kind of like a pirate code, but for the Mutineers.
Love it.
We had a couple pretty generic ones that we put in there, but we had the guys put some input in here, and they threw in a couple pretty funny ones too. But so the code reads: "We are loyal to our crew, all for one and one for all. We are relentless in the pursuit of victory. Mediocrity is a term best served for our competitors, and throw shoulders or get thrown overboard." I'm not too hip on the term "throw shoulders," but apparently that's a thing in the Call of Duty scene.
Yeah, so Modern Warfare, changing gears a little bit to the game itself, for us casuals here, it does feel like a return to form to sort of the roots of the franchise, the things that people really gravitated towards the game in the first place for. How has the reception been from the pros and the pro scene about the new game?
I mean, if you're reading Reddit or Twitter posts from a lot of these pros or listening into their scrims, it's a general consensus that they don't love the current state of the game. They've been asking for a lot of updates to a few specific things that haven't happened. Specifically, I think the spawns and the minimap and footsteps are three of the biggest things that the pro scene is not too keen on right now. But I'm interested to see where it goes. Maybe the developers don't touch that stuff anymore, and they decide, we want it to be this way, and then these guys are going to have to adapt. I mean, they're all signed to contracts to compete in this league. It's not like they're just not going to play. So it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt and which teams want it more than the others.
So what is it that you're most looking forward to with the new game and going forward into the league itself?
I mean, honestly, with the new game, I'm just looking forward to the league. I'm so excited that our roster's announced and these guys are practicing, and I just want to see how they stack up against these other rosters, because I was here from the beginning of this roster. You built it from the ground up, and I'm really excited about the guys that I got. And after all their hard work, I'm just excited to see how they stack up against these other teams when the league starts finally.
Tom Ryan, also known as Ogre2, the GM of the Florida Mutineers, has been our guest here on Checkpoint. Tom, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This was fun.